Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video we're going to be talking about Oscilio Constella Intelligence. I'm really excited about this hero. Kind of want to talk through some of the play lines, not really play lines, but the concepts that I've been thinking with this hero, where I think the hero could go potentially, what I would like to see in the hero, and just have some fun with some of the spoilers. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-staying supporter, thank you so much as always. Feel free to check out the Discord down below, channel membership, all that good stuff. We'll get right into it. So I normally do videos talking about like all the spoiler cards. I haven't done that for this one because it was focused more on just around commons and rares. It's not as exciting to do a 35-minute video on just commons and rares, right? And also it felt a little weird like rating the cards when we haven't seen the Majestics or the Legendaries. You know, some people have been saying like, imagine them showing Zen's cards but not showing Traverse or Chase the Tail. Or imagine them showing News Kit but no Mask of Recurring Nightmares, no Persuasive Prognosis, and no Bonds of Agony. Like, those decks are so different without those cards. So because of that, I wanted to kind of take a different approach and just talk about like some of the heroes I'm excited about. And there's two. The wizards are the main ones I'm excited about. So we're going to start with Oscilio. When the heroes were first revealed, I was most excited about Verdance. What little Magic I played, I played mono white life gain, so like the thought of gaining life while, you know, also dealing damage to your opponent was a really cool idea. If anyone knows Vito, the black white vampire from Magic, where you're like, when you gain life, your opponent loses equal to that. That was such a toxic deck. But anyway, so Verdance I thought was really cool for that. But as cards have been revealed, I've been really liking the thought of Oscilio, and I want to kind of talk about that here today. So Oscilio is an elemental wizard hero, starts at 36 life. Once per turn instant, discard an instant, draw a card. So Oscilio has the ability to filter cards and really do what LSS said in the articles involving wizards, where they are a master of their intellect, both in wisdom and in hand size, right, and deck manipulation. And it also helps offset Oscilio's weakness, because Oscilio is going to have to run a good amount of instants. You're able to cycle those instants out on defense when you need to get more block value. So I thought that was really cool. And then when his weapon was revealed, that was like the sealer for me, because I thought that this was just awesome, because now it turns into like at least at a base, without seeing all the cards, a like burn aggro deck. If you control an aura permanent with Sigil in its name, this costs 1 less to activate, so it's free. And it says once per turn instant, amp X, where X is the number of lightning cards you've played this turn, right? So if we have a weird hand where you have, you know, 3 Fries, which is a 0 for 3 go again lightning card in the new set, and then you have a 0 cost and you have a Sigil on the board, maybe, or like 2 Fries and a Sigil and then a 0 cost spell, you can play the Sigil at instant speed. It's an instant lightning Sigil. Then you play the 2 Fries, you activate Volzar for free, and then you play your 0 for 3 Zap, essentially, and it'll come in for amp 3 because you've played 3 lightning cards, and it comes in for 6, right? So off a 4 card hand, you've dealt 12 damage, but your last instance of damage was a little bit harder to block. So yes, it's on rate, but you know, you're basically essentially giving a final essence of damage that's a lot harder to block out, right? Which makes it, I think, a little bit above rate. But regardless, that was like the initial like play line I saw. I think a lot of people saw. And then what's also cool about Oscilio with this weapon, at least from what I'm seeing, is you can almost go pitchless in typical lightning fashion, right? You're able to play all these 0 cost lightning cards that are instants and attacks with go again, and things like that, and then end on a 0 cost spell and be able to really play a really cool cost curve that will allow you to hold cards better and be able to utilize your deck better, which I do also think is a little bit antithetical of what Wizard has been. Wizard normally relies on their pitch, whereas this Wizard does, at least it seems not to. So I thought that was really cool. They also have some cool little interactions. I'm going to skip ahead for 2 seconds to show this off. Like, so Blast to Oblivion on the left says, and they talked about this in the Blitz deck article, I think. When this attacks, the next time you play an instant card that's Chain Link, you may return target or permanent with cost 1 or less, or target or a token to its owner's hand. So you can either do it to you or your opponent. This kind of makes Prism cry. We'll talk about that maybe another time. But the thing that's also cool about this card is, and this is just a small interaction, is if you, all right, let's say you put a Sigil of Brilliance down, right? You play Sigil of Brilliance there on the left, and then in your hand you have Sigil of Lightning, and you have Blast to Oblivion. Sigil of Brilliance says, at the beginning of your action phase, destroy this, but when this leaves the arena, draw a card. All of the sigils say when this leaves the arena, and that's really important because if you ever do anything to just put it back in your hand or put it back in your deck, it's technically left the arena, so you get its ability. So if you can cycle these sigils maybe multiple times in a turn, you could do some really cool stuff. So you play Sigil of Brilliance, then you play Blast to Oblivion. They say no blocks, doesn't have go again. No point in blocking it, maybe, depending on their deck. And then you play Sigil of Lightning in the reaction window at instant speed, which allows you to pick up Sigil of Brilliance and draw a card, right? And then you can play Sigil of Brilliance back down if you want to, just to have it back on the field for next turn and keep that card you just drew for your arsenal. Or if for some crazy reason you wanted to discard Sigil of Brilliance because you're like, I don't want this in my hand anymore and I don't want to play it, I don't know why you would, but you could. You can discard that and draw another card. So off that 3-card play, you just cycled into 5 cards, and you can really like do this pick up, put down thing, which I thought was really, really cool. So that the small interactions, and again, the wizard-like mindset of being able to affect your hand and your deck manipulation, I thought was really, really cool. The sigils seem to be what kind of the base, one of the base like mechanics that the Oscilio is built around. As I'm looking at it over here, because I didn't want to like muddy up the space and put them all on here. You know, you have Sigil of Brilliance, Conductivity, Cycles, Sigil of Forethought, Fiendal, Lightning, Temporal Manipulation. So we have 7 sigils that the Oscilio can play just from the Rosetta set. The one Majestic being Sigil of Brilliance. And you're going to have to play these in order to make Oscilio worth it. Like, why would you play a hero that's hero ability is based on instance and not play instance, right? It doesn't make sense. So you're gonna have to really be able to kind of tell like how many should I play. Like Sigil of Brilliance is obviously a 3 of, it should be, I would think, in what he wants to do. But again, we haven't seen the main cards, and I am hoping, one of my hopes, right, one of my predictions or hopes is that there's a Majestic or a legendary equipment that has to do with sigils, right? Like you get some positive effect if you control a sigil once per turn or something like that, or on your turn. If you control a sigil, when you do X, something happens. Deal 1 arcane, whatever the heck it may be, right? I hope that happens, because I'd like to really make these sigils matter, and potentially like you're trying to keep sigils constantly on the board in order to proc whatever effect it may be. I thought that was really cool. The other thing is the lightning cards. The lightning cards are interesting. Most all lightning cards that we have legal are in Rosetta, because they reprinted Flash, Heaven's Claws, and Lightning Surge. The only major lightning card that we're missing, for the most part, is Weave Lightning. Like, as I'm looking at, I think Weave Lightning, Ball Lightning's banned, obviously. Electrify is another one. Channel Thunderstep, like cards like that. But most of the cards that we're thinking about playing in Oscilio realistically, I think are already in Rosetta and already naturally in his kit, right? But it seems like you're going to want to play a mix of Lightning and Wizard, obviously, because you want to make the most of your weapon. However, it's going to be interesting to see if they give us any Majestics that are non-attack actions with Go Again that do something to boost Arcane, because, you know, you might not want to play a bunch of lightning attacks. You might want to play mostly spells. It would be nice to see more cards like Flash. I think Flash, if for anyone's not aware, I didn't put it up here, I should have. The next attack action card you play this turn with cost 0 or greater gains Go Again. When you play it at yellow, it's 1 or greater, and when you play it at blue, it's 2 or greater. So basically, you can play Flash, and then be able to play a 0-cost spell for free. But you've also played a lightning card, so if you activate Bullseye, it'll get amp 1, right? So it's really, really cool for that. But we did get some cool additions with Fry being a 0 for 3 Go Again. Blast to Oblivion allows us to do some manipulation with our sigils. We have old school cards like Blink that I think are going to be really, really useful. We also have like Flittering Charge, which gets Go Again if you play an instant on that chain link. We have Lightning Form, which creates embodiment of lightning. You have Lightning Surge, which gets Go Again, so on and so forth, right? Like we have Second Strike that gets Go Again if you've dealt damage this turn. So you're able to chain together a lot of attacks, which is really, really cool. And I don't know how I mean, I'm not a wizard connoisseur or a wizard enthusiast, right? But the thought of wizards playing like half attacks, half non-attacks, or half, you know, cards that aren't attacks, isn't as applicable to me, but I mean that's what Icelander was, so I don't think people should be too upset about that. But it would be nice to see one or two more Lightning Majestics that really like help imbue what Oscilio is trying to do, and I do think we'll get one or two. I do think we will, so I'm really excited about that. And then we have the 0-cost arcane spells. So this is what I was talking about, being able to play like 2 or 3 lightning cards, activate one of them being a Sigil, then you activate Volzar, you know, amp 2 or 3, and then be able to play one of these 0-cost spells for 5 or 6. And when we start talking about cards like Mind Warp and other cards, which we'll talk about in a second, I think that could be really, really good. So you almost could go pitchless, right? Like you could really like manipulate your cost curve at a base level in order to like just do this burn down aggro deck, right? The final thing I wanted to talk about with Oscilio that I thought was interesting is combo effects and on-hit effects. So right now, the only issue, it's not really an issue, it's just a weakness of Oscilio, in my opinion, is there's not a lot of forced interaction, right? Like he doesn't have, at least right now, we'll see if he gets it, doesn't have the Kano combo potential where you can just kill you at an obscene life. And he doesn't have a lot of on-hit effects other than raw damage to make you care. And at least right now, from what I'm seeing, without more cards, he doesn't quite go overrate. Excuse me, it's early. Go overrate enough in order to make you care, right? Because like you have certain decks like Zen is the most egregious example, where they don't have any on hit effects other than like Tiger Swipe, but they deal such overrate damage they force you to interact because they're going to kill you. Right now, Oscilio doesn't quite have that, so because of that, you need to force them to want to care. The best card that Oscilio has to his disposal, in my opinion, right now, other than like generic attacks, is Mind Warp. It says deal 2 damage to hero. Surge, if this deals 2 or more damage to a hero, they shuffle their hand into their deck. Then they draw that many cards -1. So again, let's do a 5-card hand here. Let's say you have Sigil of Brilliance in your arsenal, and then you have 3 fries in your hand. You play Sigil of Brilliance right here. It's a lightning instant, right? You control a Sigil now. Then you play 3 fries for 9 damage. You activate Volzar for free since you control Sigil of Brilliance. Give your next attack a spell, your arcane attack, amp 4 from the 4 lightning cards you just played, and then you play Mind Warp for 6. So you've dealt 6, 9, 12, 15 damage off a 5-card hand, which is only 1 point above like normal value. However, Mind Warp says if it deals more than 2 damage, they basically discard their entire, or shuffle in their entire hand and draw that many cards -1. So you can basically discard a card and they have to have a brand new hand. That's very powerful because you might be playing, let's say you're playing against a Zen, and you've dealt 9 damage, and they're like, that's cute, I'm about to deal 20 because I have an Art of War in my hand, and I have, you know, whatever. Or I have a chi card or whatever, right? Maybe they blocked with just their hat. And then you play Mind Warp, and then you're like, okay, well, if you don't block at least 3 of this, I'm going to make you get rid of that entire hand that you just tried to hold to crack back at me, and you're going to get 1 less card. So really, really good effect. I hope we get 1 or 2 more like this. This is like, I don't know if we will. If I had to guess, I don't think we will, but we'll see. I think it's going to go more of what Glyph Overlay is doing, where it's the combo potential. We'll talk about that in a second, but I would like to see at least 1 more card in Oscilio's kit that makes you care about the damage other than just raw damage. So that's one side. The other side is combo potential. I really like Glyph Overlay because it's comboing without Kano level combo. Like, I don't want any more heroes that can kill me at 37 life on turn 2. Please, God, no. I just don't want it. That's just my opinion. Shout out to all the Kano players. But Glyph Overlay is really cool. It says deal X plus 3 arcane damage to target hero, where X is the number of aura permanents you control with Sigil in their name. Surge, if this deals more than 3 damage, gain 1 life, then shuffle all aura permanents you control with Sigil in their name into their owner's deck. So let's just say, again, Christmas line here. That's what spoiler season is for. Let's say you have a 2 Sigil of Brilliances, 1's an arsenal. So that's 2 cards. Then you have a Sigil of Lightning, and then you have any card that you can pitch for Glyph Overlay because it costs 1, and then Glyph Overlay. So that's a 5-card hand, right? You play your 2 Sigil of Brilliances, that's 2 Lightning instances. You play your Sigil of Lightning, and then you pitch your 4th card to play Glyph Overlay. Or before you do that, you activate Volzar because it's for free. And since you've played now 3 lightning cards, it gets amp 3 and your next spell. So then you attack with Glyph Overlay, it gets the 3 now turns into a 6 because of the X, or because of the amp 3, and then the X equals 3 because you can You have 3 or permanents you control with Sigil in your name. So now you're dealing 9 damage. I can't math. 9 total damage with Glyph Overlay. So if they can't block 6 of it, you gain a life. And then the cool thing is it says shuffle all or permanents you control with Sigil in their name into their owner's deck. Well, if you have 2 Sigil or Brilliances, they leave the arena when they shuffle it back into your deck. So you'll draw 2 cards and create an embodiment of lightning token. So it's a really cool way to like maybe close out the game at a decent life total, depending on what you have, especially if we get some type of majestic or legendary that lets you go get sigils from your deck or go get them from your graveyard and put them into the field. And all of a sudden you have like 4 or 5 sigils on the field, and then you play Glyph Overlay for like 10 plus and be able to close out the game. I think that'd be really, really cool. I'm really excited to try that. Whether it's good enough, we'll have to see. But I hope we get some type of majestic that has a Glyph Overlay type effect where we can just close out the game in the teens. That's kind of what Icelander could do with Frost Hex, right? Gosh, what is the card? Ice Eternal. So I'm hoping we get like this mid-level combo game plan. I think that could be really cool. It'll satisfy all of the Wizard players who want that, that combo aggro style, and it'll also, give Oscilio a little bit more of a different win condition, because I want to see Oscilio be able to have these decent arcane enders that even if someone brings AB3, AB4, Spell Void 1 into the matchup, Oscilio can still crack it out and win the game. So that's really cool. Again, I would like to see something that interacts with sigils or instants at the equipment slot in Legendary. I think that'd be really nice for Oscilio. Really, who knows? Like, that's the fun part of this. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, imagine if they would have done Misfail and Enigma, you wouldn't have seen Traverse yet, or Miragai. You wouldn't have seen Mask Recurring Nightmares or Bonds of Agony, and you wouldn't have seen Chase the Tail or Traverse for Zen. Like, those heroes are so much different without those Majestics. Just think of your favorite hero and then take the Majestics out and the Legendaries and how much different they play. Think of Brute without Blood Rush Bellow. You know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely nuts. So we have somewhat of an idea of basic, cute, fun play lines that these heroes do, but we have no idea how they're gonna actually like culminate. You really don't. So, which makes me super excited. This spoiler season wasn't quite for me because I enjoy seeing the cards early. I understand why they did it. 1, they have the creative freedom to do it, and 2, because they want to try new things, and 2, because I do understand, like at Tampa Bay, opening a card that no one else has opened for the first time is a cool experience. From the outside looking in, though, it did hurt my hype for the set a little bit, but not enough to like make a fuss about it. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. I'm really excited for Oscilio. I think they have the most kind of differentiating, it seems, play style out of all of them. All the other 3, like, we kind of have a baseline level of what they're trying to do a little bit more, in my opinion. Even more so, Florian and Verdance, I think, are pretty like, they're based on, they're trying to decompose, they're trying to turn on their hero ability and then work towards that, right? Whereas Oscilio, it's like, man, where is this hero going to go? Which makes me really excited. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If you're new to the channel and this isn't quite for you and you don't want to leave a like or comment, that's totally fine. Go to another creator. I have a creator list on my homepage with every Flesh and Blood creator that I have seen or think of. Go there, find a creator you like, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff, please. And if you don't see someone on there, like an article writer or a cosplayer or anybody, right? I try to put like different levels of creators on there. Go, like, let me know in the comment, please. Like, be like, hey, you're missing this person. They make really consistent content. It's really good. Can you please add them? And I'll add them, definitely. But thank y'all so much. Y'all stay safe. And I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.